Greetings all. Welcome to another late night stream. This is 23, I think, in the Veda series. Tonight's victim is my CR-10 S4. This is another printer that was bought for a project. Did the test prints and then the project never went ahead. So I've used it a lot for other things. It's got lots of marks on the glue on the bed right now. But a few months ago now, probably before Christmas, maybe, I don't know, a little while ago, not too long, got to this problem. The bed she don't move. I believe it had a couple layer skips in the Y direction when it did its last prints. It was orange, I can see that. I've got a little bit of orange filament sticking out of it. So, hi there, Vince. I saw you were in early. Good for you. Sorry I'm running real late. I've had some computer issues, some internet issues on my phone for some reason. Non-fam, thank you for stopping in again. Always good to see you both. So, if anybody wants to jump in, let me know. I'll drop the link in the comments. I just do that anyways. This may be one where audience participation could be handy, because I'm going to be kind of stuck on this one. Just getting it up here and plugging it all back in was like, I still don't really know what's wrong with this one. I suspect either the motor is cooked or the belt's just way too tight. I mean, it's not quite a bass string, so it's all right. It should be all right. So, might be a little bit tight, but there isn't really much adjustment on these. I don't think there's any, actually. It's just, here it is. So, because when I turn it on, that didn't quite work. It was better before. I turned that off. That might there. That'll help. So if we go through here, been a long time since I used a Creality product. I won't do auto home. It just hurts. We'll leave it at 1 millimeter. And if we go X moves fine. 1 millimeter. Z. Z moves fine. Z finishes its little dances. Then we do Y. Listen. Belts don't even budge. At least I can move it a bit. It's possible that's just too tight, I guess. Because it's a grooved one under there. Yeah, the motor does sound weird. I mean, it's really tight. I don't know if there's... I don't think there's any slider adjustment in this at all. It's just, that's where it is. You don't get any adjustment. I mean, I can print one, but yeah, the motor gets the idea, and it's weird. Okay, there's another weird thing. It goes a while and then it stops. And then I'm still turning the wheel. Oh, it thinks it's at the end. That's why it hasn't hit the stop yet. Oh, sorry, Vince. Earlier, Tony, it wouldn't move at all. And I adjusted the... And there, oh, we're at the end again. It thinks it's at the end. That's why it stops there. Anybody recognize that sound? Probably with that one, it thinks it's at the end again. You can't push it. Let's disable the steppers for a minute. I always like disable steppers. It never really tells you if it did anything, but those ones are disabled. And under here, I'll turn that on. We've got the eccentric nuts. That one's loose. That one's okay. That one's kind of tight. That one's all right. Having 6 of them on each rail kind of confuses me, because it's got to be impossible to line up 6 of them. This one's pretty chewed up. Some of them got some wear on them for sure, but it's got a few hours on it. That one's real tight. But then the eccentric across from it is loose. So let's loosen that one a bit. It should be that way. And I don't, if these got tighter somehow magically, I have no idea how, because it was just sitting there running fine, and then it started doing skips one day. So I think it's electronic or electrical, but usually you can turn the wheels all right by hand. That's a goop. But I can take it for a ride here. No, I can't. No cable. Hello. Hello, falling off. Well, okay, let's flip off that camera so that you're not going totally crazy there. Somebody's vertigo. Hey there, MJ. How you doing tonight? You're here just in time to help me figure out what's wrong. not the camera mount. The light's not really cooperating tonight either. Hey there, Happy Extruder. How's Ron tonight? You're here just in time, guys. This is CR-10 S4. Needs a new cable for the bed because the puppy chewed it and took the board out to put in someone else's CR-10S. Yeah. I got a CR-10 S5 over there that's never really worked right, so it was for the same project this was, and it never got to that stage to print in multiples. So yeah, problem tonight, Ron, is the y-axis on this CR-10 S4 is way stuck. Not, I think the motor's cooked, but we'll see. I'm just going to loosen the... Oh, it's loose enough. It's not going anywhere. Let's try something else. Let's switch the wires around. Now, this has got a set of extensions on it as well, because this one was destined to be inside an enclosure, because the final prints were probably going to be ABS at the time. So let's unplug them in the middle where it's easier. So if we unplug the Y, yeah. Well, that's a good project. Magnetic bed. Which bed are you putting on? We're not brand specific here. I'm going to switch the X and the Y motors for a minute and see if it's a stepper issue, or at least start to narrow it down. So I'm going to plug the X feed into that one. That's one thing, the extension cables are handy for this, because otherwise I'd have to be trying to reach them between each other. Yeah, stepper driver could be running high, but if it is, it's failing and it's on its way out, because this thing was running fine for a year or more before it just decided to start layer shifting on Y. It was months ago, and I just started using the Chiron instead, put a 0.8 nozzle on it, and been doing fine. So this one got put in the deal with it later pile. It's a pretty big pile. I got lots to work on. Yeah, I tried the eccentric nut. It's got 6 on each beam, which is kind of weird to me. Like, to me, eccentric nut should be 2 stationary, one on the opposite side that's adjustable, and away you go. Like, I don't understand why it has 6 on both sides. And it looks like the eccentric ones aren't even on the same place on each side, but I didn't look at it that close. They're all, I can move them by hand, turn them. There's enough room there. They're not bound up or anything. There's not a bad bearing or anything in it. Yeah, it could be too. It's going to be beyond the scope of tonight's project. Seems like it started so late. My goal tonight is just take a look at it, see if I can narrow down what it needs, and then decide what it's going to get. I mean, I know it needs adjustable X and Y belt tensions anyways. I'm not sure that I didn't print this out one time. We could probably use a set that I could find. Hey there, Eddie Mosier. Eddie's got the right idea. Just throw it away. Rip it down for parts and, deal with it. This, well, it's not going to go anywhere anyways. Let's try after we switch the... Thanks for stopping in, sir. Yeah, my S5 problems are bigger than that. I believe it was the S5 was a store return, and somebody tried to put a head leveling PL Touch on it. I think they might have cooked something doing that. Yeah, I can just throw it really hard. Let's see, you're kind of that way. So I'll just, pick it up with my weak arms, and I'm a mouse jockey, and throw it that way. Agreed, sir. Yeah, we can check that too. Okay, let's see if we gained any knowledge from spinning it around. Move axis 1 millimeter so I don't hurt myself. And let's go with Y, which is now the X. Now I'm spinning the wheel at 1 millimeter jumps. Oh, we hit 0. Where I think 0 is. Yeah, unfortunately, the cheap motors is part of what keeps the machines cheap. Okay, so now let's go to 1 millimeter on menu X, which is actually Y. And here we are in shaky Stutterville again. I'm turning it. It should be going that way. It thinks it's at 121 and hasn't moved at all. Yeah. When how about if we just pause the musical interlude then? There you go. Does that help? You're still going to hear the fan and the power supply, or the main unit, but... Okay, listen, check this out. I'll get back there. Chickened out. 1 millimeter, X, which is Y. So when we go that direction, go that way. I guess I can put it on something so you can see it too. That would be good. Jeez. The motor going that way doesn't work. This way it's all right. That way it's... And I can feel it. I'm going to be at the end again. You can feel it turning, and then it gets to a certain spot, and it just buzzes in that spot. So what do we think, doctors? Yeah, I can't hear the music at all. It doesn't pipe through the headset yet. Sorry. Parts for that come on Monday, theoretically. Amazon's way screwed up lately. Everything's like over a week to get here. Driver shouldn't be overheating. I just turned it on. I mean, it could be, but it shouldn't be. Yeah, I could go pull a Tomorrow I can pull a 17 off another old printer. God knows I have enough of them around. I can even go take one off the S5 and swap it in to try it, seeing as it's not doing shit. I just don't have enough experience with printers that don't work. I've been mostly because every time one didn't work, I just got a different one. And once you start buying the orange printers, those problems are less. They're not gone. I still have one that I have a problem with, but yeah, that's what we've got now is the X feed is the X cable. The X output out of the box is going to the Y motor on the bed. That's what I did to switch them. And that's how I narrow down that it's probably not the driver, because the Y driver, I don't want this will work because I don't know where Think Zero is right now. I can move the X back and forth fine, other than the weird vibration I can hear. So yeah, I've switched the leads around, and the X moves fine with the Y output off the box. So I'm thinking, I don't think it's the control box though, because the Y feed works the X axis fine when it's plugged into it. That leaves the motor. Hey there, Jerry. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for stopping in. My troubleshooting skills aren't totally bad. I just don't have enough depth. I haven't done it enough. Right now, on my list of Creality machines to deal with right now is this one, the S5 CR-10 that needs a hot end replaced, which that plan changed now because I've got a Fetus one for it. And I'm kind of waiting for the mutants to come in so I can use it and take care of both at once with that one. And I've got a Hicktop CR-10 that just got tired when it was doing all the face shield parts last year. So I got a few to practice on, and I got spare parts galore. I think that's all the Creality machines I own. I think so. No, there's no BL Touch on this one. No. It could have one of the Easy Able ones from Tim. I've got them. I bought 2 or 3 of them one time. A year ago. So, remember I bought one for the D6. And then I thought about it later, and like the bed's only this big, so, but it'd be handy. Yeah, there's no BL Touch on this one. There is on there. That's the reason I can't really swap the boxes around too, is because it's looking for the BL Touch on the other one. The only thing that's weird on this one is I've got somewhere here. I've got the runout sensor bypassed back to the original because they just suck. I've never had a good experience with those. Other than the new minis, I don't think any of my machines have a runout sensor currently. Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to go to all that trouble. This one here is almost I was thinking about selling it before it started flaking out, but because I had the Chiron too, and it seems to be working okay. So let's find out, Ron. Nope. No. But if, how many of those do I need to get that undone? Really need to put that up. Way too big. Okay. We're going to find out in a minute because I'm going to disconnect the motor and see if the bed moves. Take it out of the loop. Yeah, but if I've switched the X and the Y already, so the stepper should have, then the X should have been screwed up and jumpy and not moving one way if it was a driver issue, I believe. Ron's money is on the motor. What was for shame for? What did I do wrong? Your Chiron is on your repair / strip down bench, or working fantastically on your bench. Oh, there you go. Its identity becoming useful printer itself. Yeah, I don't have ABL on the Chiron. Or, well, I do, but I guess I do because I've got the stock one that came on it. So that's a good point. But it's like most of the printers, man. Like I use those. Every time I end up in the forums on Facebook and stuff, I get mad because everybody's like, oh, yeah, you got to level the bed. And I do this every time and I clean it every time. And, you know, and I'm like, really, like, I just kind of like set it to go. And as long as you don't bang it around and move it, it isn't really going to go that far out of level. They're mechanical. Well, you got tension on the springs. I've had like the Creality, the CR-10s. I ran those things for months without ever touching the bed for level. Just take one off, throw the next one on glass with glue on it, and away you go. And I used to lean on them to get stuff off them sometimes. Yeah, the ABL on the Chiron is weird. The way it does that thing forever, ever, ever, and then you kind of go in and fudge it by hand anyways. So, oh, that would be a good project. Linear rails, that'd be good. I mean, it's a good size printer. I put really, the only thing I've done to it is the little speed tie on that holds the connector in on the carriage, and a little line of silicone along it to hold that in, because otherwise it just stops occasionally when the connector shakes loose. Shitty design. And I got rid of I bypassed the sensor. It's got a piece of gray filament in it permanently, sitting on the table beside it. And I put a flex bed, cheap flex bed on it. Wow, yours will be way better than mine. But I do like mine with the 0.8 nozzle. The goal was to put a 1.0 nozzle on the S5 so I could print big stuff at a reasonable speed, but got the nozzles all sitting around waiting. Just, it's got some issues. It has trouble keeping the Z level with the two motors on it. Something's not right there. But anyways, let's quit talking and get this thing off of here before it's too far into tomorrow. Should just loosen it up enough. Yeah, having a big printer and running it with, that's not a good sign. Whichever robot put that one in did a good job. Could have taken it off that way too. So that ain't coming out. Hey, 3D Jeff. Thanks for subscribing yesterday. I think it was. I saw an email come through. Yeah, my channel's still small enough that I get the emails and I see them all. I remember most of them. Wow. Real good if I could see what I was doing. Make sure they're not Phillips screws or something. Why don't they use socket heads for these so that you can get them out? Rather than standing on my head. Yeah, they're stripped out. I feel like somebody's played with this one before. Where did I get this one? No, I think I put this one together. So they came that way. That's not cool. Not cool at all. Now I'm getting way behind on chat. Yeah, you ordered the kit. Okay, can somebody explain to me why it takes longer for them to get the kit version sent out than the ones that are mostly assembled? I mean, I know that when they assemble them to go out, they just pick the parts out of the bin. They don't have to bag them all up and stuff, but that's got to be quicker than the time it takes to assemble the thing. Couldn't figure why they can't sit two people down for a couple of days and package up, a few hundred kits. But wow. I waited forever for my last ones, but it's because I bought them on Black Friday sale, and that's a gazillion orders, and then lots of COVID delays for parts and stuff. Well, that's good. A drone battery from January. That's pretty good. I don't think I've got anything stuck anywhere right now. I think everything's pretty much here for a while, except the mutant parts, but they haven't sent those yet. I still got the first batch. But yeah, they don't make any more money. They just get the same price either way, right? Yeah, I wouldn't. My time is worth more than the frustration of building a kit printer again. At this point in my life, I just can't see me sitting down for a weekend to build a printer, because I don't really need any more, let's face it. Doesn't mean I won't buy anymore, but I don't need any more. Yeah, I hear you there. I still have a problem with the mini design, but I'll do a video when I get to that stage of it. they call these? Bond house. I like them. They work better. That one. That's the part I don't like, Eddie. The path, the filament path with the bearing on one side and the gear on the other, I thought we were kind of past that. Like that's going back to this style, you know, to like 3 or 4 years ago's way of doing things. And I understand that it might shave the price a little bit to not have to pay for another Bondtech style gear. I don't know if they're true Bondtech gear in that one or not, but in the Mini. But you can't easily release the tension to get filament out of it because the lever's on the other side with a long screw and a spring, and you can't really put enough pressure on it sometimes because it grinds out, like it bottoms out against the frame for the design of the arm. So I bought one of the Bondtech ones, replacements for it. So we'll be doing that soon on one of them. But I kind of wanted to try the Mini Pluses first and see if they'd fixed it. And jury's still out. Man, that is not coming off. Oh, yeah. I mean, for some of us, it's part of the fun. I've had enough fun on some of these. I just like stuff to work now. Like Mark III's, you know, as soon as I say it, one of them's going to bugger up, but they're generally like set it and walk away. I barely even watch the first layer much anymore. I'll check the camera half an hour later and make sure it's still, you know, not messed up, but that's it. Like it seems to me that when he announced the Mini at IRF 2019, that Bondtech gears was part of the story. I could be way wrong, but it seems to me that meant opposing gears, and I, you know, they were brand new. That, you know, I didn't go take one apart or anything, but and then the first time I had to take mine apart because it jammed up a lot, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right. But it is. No, I haven't done that because when my first one, well, it arrived last year. And when did I assemble it? I put it together on stream, like back after Christmas last year, 2020. So yeah, I didn't do a lot of fixing printers for a few months after that, for sure. And it's been sitting over there for a while. So, and then like recently, just before I ordered, well, around the time I ordered the Minis, the Pluses, I ordered a bunch of spare parts for it so I can try and fix it. But I think I'm going to put yeah, there's a Bondtech replacement. If you subscribe to my channel and set the bell, I'm going to do it pretty soon. I'm going to take my version 1.0 Mini, put the Bondtech replacement on it, which has a lever on top that you set the tension on it with, you know, the normal spring and a knurled screw thing. Seems like and the path is a little bit better apparently into it. So I'm going to try it. I mean, you know, I own 3 of the damn things. I should be able to get them all to work at once. So I'm hoping that that'll take care of it. Because everything else I kind of tried with it didn't. And I didn't go through and replace all that little piece of Bowden tube. And because after the first time I took it apart, it just got way worse. I know, man. I'm here to spend your money. Oh, yeah, by the way, I paid for all this stuff. I don't get nothing for free. We'll get to one video where I got one thing for free that I can think of. Everything else, And I didn't even ask for it. It just came to me. Somebody just asked me for my address and sent it to me. So, but no, I don't think there's anything that was gifted to me or anything else. I'm certainly not important enough to get paid for anything. And I wouldn't take it anyway. Yeah, there's the Bondtech replacement. People say it takes care of the problem, but it doesn't make the prints any better. And I'm like, I just want it to keep working reliably. No, it just takes time, and I'm not going to take on any big time projects until after the end of this month, till I'm done this daily video thing. Because, you know, right now it's, if something's on this desk for 2 or 3 days while I fiddle with it, I got to do video somewhere else. So once I'm past this little challenge project that I challenged myself with, once I'm through that, then I'll be able to sit down but we'll probably do the Bondtech thing before that. I really want to play with the laser. So I got a cheap laser kit that I bought a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago now. Kind of forgot about it for a while because it took a while to get here. And then I like to play around with printers and, you know, update them and everything, upgrade them to different parts when I have time. But it seems to me every time that one of them's gone bad, it's been a bad time. So I'm really hoping that 2022 is a safer year for international travel. That's for sure. The way things are going right now, it's not looking good up here anyway. Yeah. And like, I'm rarely in a hurry to get a print, you know. Usually I tend to set stuff up before I go to bed, and whether it finishes at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. doesn't really matter to me, as long as it finishes properly. I bought mine up here from, and you know why, but I bought mine from, I want to say Spool 3D out west, maybe 2 years ago. Oh shit, man, I got stuff here that's more than 2 years old. Way more than 2 years old. I've got an MMU 1 kit that I never installed because everybody else had so many problems. And I had lots of stuff going on in my world at that time and just did not have time for the frustration of it. I didn't really need it. I think I only had one Prusa then, Mark II. So, yeah, I've had stuff that's, what was the one we just did? Yeah, that wasn't quite that old. When we get to the Geetek A10, it's been around a while. Whenever Krusty did his review of it, that was around the time I bought it. So I remember asking him, they were shipping out different versions of it. I remember talking to him about it, so it was around that time. See? Yeah. Yeah, I've realized just recently that I'm not the only one that has certain machines that they either set up and then parked or never set up. And I always thought it was just like, you know, Joel and Chris Riley and those guys that have got too many machines coming in to really deal with them all in a timely manner. But it's a lot of the rest of us too that have just got, yeah, I got it, or it was, you know, it was a deal. And like some of them were a deal, like that laser thing was a deal the day I bought it. And same with that Delta, which I like that Delta. It's really nice. I ran it just sitting on the floor over there the other day, tilted it over long enough so I could read the screen and tell it to go and let it run. So it needs a proper place to sit though. That might be next weekend's project. This weekend I got to finish my taxes too. So, because our tax date's coming up next week. Illustrator. Oh, there you go. Do they make a replacement as well for the Mini? And, you know, like, I don't know, like most of us have sat back and watched all of the bigger channels grow. And they get to a certain point where more machines just aren't fun anymore. It's too much work to do a prize. I don't know if anybody saw Tom's video that came out, I think, today or yesterday. You know, doing an honest review, a thorough, proper, good, solid review is time consuming. And they all go through that. Joe went through it. Joel's been through it a number of times. See? I'm not alone, man. He's got a Troubleshooting X5X that he never finished building from like 3 years ago. Well, I've got a, right over there, there's a Black Widow, TiVo Black Widow. Machine came out, it was like my maybe fourth machine, so I wasn't real experienced with things, and all the people were coming out with all the danger, the potential fire problems, and undersized wiring and everything. And I'm not an electronics guy, electrical guy, mechanical guy, so I had to really, learn about that stuff more. And I ended up buying different parts and getting all the stuff to do it. And then it was still kind of iffy. I wasn't confident enough to do it. And the community for it was scattered at that point. There was people all over the place trying different things, trying to fix it. See? Oh, they carried the Bondtech one. Yeah, the reviews on it are all kind of like, what's his name, Michael in Australia did a thing on it and trying to hoping it would solve his problems with the Mini. And he was like, well, his general consensus at the end of his was, well, it's not worse and it doesn't seem to be jamming as much, was kind of what I got out of it. And I don't have problems. Like it prints nice. Everything works fine, except that I really wanted to print flexibles on a small printer. So, and have it just for that. Just set it up and just have it ready to go. And every time I put flexibles in it, it made spaghetti in the very cramped feed mechanism. See, Vince is on our team too. He's still got 8 of them in boxes. You just need more printers in boxes, Jerry. That's what you need. Yes, today's video from Tom I thought was very good. I'm not saying I always agree with him, but today I certainly did. Yeah, Joel's always been good to me. I've always noticed that he's good at telling what's wrong without really slamming a company, trying to help them learn and get better rather than just saying your stuff sucks. And that doesn't help them because he wields power, if you will. Like his opinion matters in the community to a lot of people. So I think he's very good at buffering things on that. Yeah, if every I try, when somebody asks me, they say they want to get into 3D printing, I'm honest with them, but I don't want to squash their enthusiasm, because if you're willing to put the time in, and some machines work better than others, and it sometimes doesn't matter how much you spend. You can spend a lot and still get a machine that isn't really outstanding. And they all make lemons. They make machines on Friday afternoons too. So, but yes, an honest review. But some machines you don't like, and I'm going to be the Prusa fanboy here again for a minute, but like my Mark III, like the one that I'm using right now, it just runs, man. So the other one's waiting for parts that I've got now, but they just work. And for a first timer, it's not hard to assemble. The instructions are really well laid out now, and they're almost painfully over informative maybe, but they're made for beginners. Yeah, Joel also has to put together a video that goes up on YouTube. He can't do a 5-hour marathon of assembling a machine. I think Chris Riley does a really good job of taking machines out of the box and getting them running, hopefully with minimal extra effort, and prints a benchy and then plays with it for a while, talks about it again later. I think that's a good way to do it. And I hope that he didn't just walk in when I said that, so that would look bad. Okay, Jerry, you're in the club too. If you've had something waiting since last May. So, okay, that's good. See, I wish I could have a CNC, but my garage is frozen for too much of the year. Yeah. You think that, Jeff, but you know what? You're just inheriting somebody else's nightmares. If you got time for that, that's one thing, but most people don't. Yeah, if I could just get the jamming issue to go away on the first Mini there, I'd be happy. The new ones, they've stuck a couple of times, but I was also trying some different filaments, so they haven't been. I can't blame the machine for that, but the drive path isn't any better. My goal was to print all new parts, the current version of the parts for the first version one, and then I kind of came across people talking about the Bondtech thing. I'm like, okay, I'll try that. That seems like an easier fix, but I'll probably still print the parts. Okay, but how can you print flex? Okay, for me, flexibles with any kind of a Bowden deal never works. It'll work for a while, but you have to keep the hot end so hot to keep it flowing because you're pushing an elastic that eventually it backs up and heat creep usually wins. And on that thing, at least on the one I've got, the design of it, it's probably not going to be a flexible machine at all, for me anyway. Because when you heat the flexible stuff up, it just goes to goop. Yes. The only problem with like shared profiles is that rookies still think that there's a magic solution. If you set all the dials to the right numbers, that these are going to work identically between different places and different machines, and that's just not the case of this technology. It's not ready for that yet. You know, I can print something at 50 millimeters a second and 230 degrees, but the default profile is going to be 210, and it just won't print here because the basement's just too cold. The ambient air is too cold around it, and socks don't help. So I see too many people that are new that are jumping for stuff like that, and everybody's talking to me. That's really good, but I'm running out here. I know. How's that stepper coming? The Mark III that I'm using is my main one now. It's in a lac table enclosure that I built, and I'm sure that helps it. But it's been, other than changing a nozzle on it once, because I ran some glow in the dark one time that was kind of rough on a nozzle. I don't think there's anything that's gone wrong with it. The SD card is starting to flake a bit, so I might have to replace the main board in it soon. I'll get a black one if I do. But that's about the worst part of it right now. Oh, I've disabled the runout sensor on it because they were just bogus. They just didn't work right. That's what I wish I would have done. Again, past me was an idiot. I should have at least like taken a post-it note or a piece of tape and made notes on all these things and what was wrong with them when I parked them. Because other than the Y bed on this one, I couldn't remember if there was anything else wrong with it. Yeah. And Speed is important, but it depends. Sometimes speed is important, and I'll do it on the Chiron at double the speed, basically. And if I want better quality, I'll just slow it down and print on the Prusa, the Mark III. Yeah, I really have to sit down and readdress my. And I've got another one in the in between pile. Is that a Monoprice Select something or other? The 220 by 221, the Wanhao design. They it's a direct drive. I bought it from a friend, and the main reason I bought it was because it was direct drive. Because I like direct drive better than Bowden's. Tired of chasing broken filament through hoses like I'll probably have to do in this one. Was anybody tried any of the different little fittings, PTFE fittings that Wham Bam was selling with the Mutants? I haven't put them in yet, but I want to try some of those. They look like a better, higher quality metal rather than plastic piece. Yes, your rail core is a special one. See, that's called organization. I'm not real good at that. I've just started listing them in an Evernote document now, so I have a list of all the things I can do videos on and stuff and that need to be done. And standing in front of a camera will make me actually get on them. Yeah, direct drive, in my experience, has given me a lot less trouble than these have. And this is one of the plastic ones where they actually put their name on the thing. It's making a funny sound. Yeah. And as you guys pointed out tonight, with me having the music going in the background, never fails that somebody will post a short video clip on Facebook or one of the groups or Twitter, and they're like, oh, it's making a weird sound, or what's this sound mean? And all you can hear is, some loud rap stuff going in the background. It's like, all right, well, your musical tastes are different than mine, but other than that, I don't know. Or they take a picture of resin print and they post and they go, what's wrong with this? It's like, you don't even know what it was. What is it supposed to look like? And they're worried about a little ripple in the thing. And I'm like, well, you probably bumped the table or lifted the lid to look at it and knocked it a bit. I should probably slow down the talking. Man, this thing is just a bear. Because that one's just wrenched in there solid too. Yeah, it's not that big. Nope. Nope, that just rounded it out. There we go. Yeah, I know. I got bear upgrades to do too. I've got a bear kit and a half to deal with still. On the list. Yeah, I should have just scored that line where that was so I could put it back right. Failed again. Yeah, these are they're sure in there. Nope, that's just spinning in the. Yeah. Well, I know one thing. Those screws are not going back in. I'll be putting socket heads in. Forget these round-headed stupid things. Save a nickel. Nope. Or they're a weird size. full of something. See if any of those help. Put the ones that came with the FL Sun and see if there's a cheap Allen wrench in here that'll work, because the ball nose ones just suck for this. It's too big. The other half. There. You're probably going, no, over there. You can see them. I can't. You know what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm open to ideas. Oh man, those are just awful. They're just spun out. Wonder how high the torque is on the gun they used to put these together, because they're all just rounded out. By the feel of it. Looks like they're kind of rounded out, because they're soft metal for sure. Man. All right. Part 2 of this project will be taking a Dremel with those. Yeah, they're just spinning inside the head of the screws. Bolts. Yeah, Murphy's Law is all over this machine. I'm gonna have to really work at remembering when I bought this, but I'm pretty sure it was a new one. It was in a box when it came into the house. So those are just not cutting it. I was hoping I could get a couple of them loose and then wiggle it and get the other ones to move, but nope. That one's all right. And I don't have my baby vice grips are out in the garage, I think so. Holy. Insert bad words here. Yeah, they used a air gun for this for sure. I mean, come on, it's a printer. They didn't need to use an air gun for these. Need some torque, and as soon as you do, they just go to mush. Come on. Come on. 2 out. Hey there. How's Maker Viking tonight? And the round heads are so shallow that you can't. I'm not even going to get a good grip on them with pliers. I don't think. Try this one again, because it didn't. Nah, it jumps out too. These two are just toast. And you can feel it move as soon as you put it in. Let's get those to grab it. Get some torque. Smaller pair in the garage. I'll be able to get on them with this. Too shallow to get on them. Those don't have enough teeth on them either. No, not going to do anything. I'll be grinding them off tomorrow. No, I don't think it's going to help any. Oh, you know, struggling with Creality stuff. Y motor isn't working right. We've determined that it's not, I believe anyways, that it's not the board or the drivers, because I switched them around to the X and it works fine. So Tuscan raid from Chris Perillo. How you doing, sir? Thanks for the raid. How's your stream tonight? Did you do some 3D printing? Welcome, everybody. It's coming in on Chris's raid. Rubber band trick. You mean like put it inside the... There's not enough room. It's tiny. It would take up the whole room. The whole space inside the head there. Yeah, but they can't get, I won't be able to get the wrench in. If I can even guess where I could even find a rubber band in this pile of stuff. Hey, does anybody know what that is? We recognize that in the junk pile. Tonight we're trying to figure out, hey, Builders Mark. Today we're trying to figure out what's wrong with this CR-10 S4. The, well, kind of moves better now, but I've taken the tension off it a bit. But the Y motor, I think, is the problem. That's what we've kind of deduced so far. Chat will correct me if I'm wrong on that assumption. I think that's where we've got to. Hey, bet you some of these will work. That was the white thingy. No, that's the tube for the pallet tube pro, whatever it's called. What do you think here, Mr. Mosier? Think a latex glove will do it? Nope. I can still feel it spinning in there. It spun right out. They've overdone that. Or if I can get this to enough slack in the belt to work it over the edge. Not good for the belt either, but hey, at this point. Come on. Same way I used to get the chains back on my bicycle when I was a kid. Just work it over the edge. Okay, this is where we lose a finger. Look at that. Where do you guys think the problem is now? Yeah, but it was the grippiest thing I had, Eddie. Yeah, we did the swap the X and Y and move the axis. That's how we worked out that it's probably the motor. Good call, Builders Mark. Yeah, we had the X working fine. Then we switched the things around, and so we were good there. Yeah, money's on the motor. 100% motor. And yes, hello to all the raiders that came in. You scrolled by so fast. I'll hit a few of the names here. Yellow Mellow Guy. We already mentioned Mr. Perillo. If it sits, is it? Okay, that one's hard to do. It's too late at night for me for that. But thank you for stopping in. Tinker Tech. Demos Geekened. I'm going to mess that one up. Coda 120. When we test my memory, remembering everybody, Builders Mark, we've mentioned a couple times. That's everybody. Thank you for stopping in, everybody. So, I believe that this is the problem. So, just for fun, what happens if we just run it with nothing on it? But we know that it's not anything wrong with the bed because it's like a skateboard now. So we've deduced that the problem is here. So let's just plug it back in and see what we can do for trouble here. Let's do one other thing. Let's switch the motor lines back to where they're supposed to be, so that when I go to work on it later, I won't be going, no. Hey there, RC Maniac. How you doing? I know I put on a lucky shirt for this one tonight. It didn't work, but I tried. Got to wear the Team Orange shirt once in a while. Got a few of them. Really glad they put these little bracelets on the legs. You can't see because they're over there. The little yellow bracelets on them, like they put on the pigeon legs. Saved me many times, especially when I bought the extension wire kit for it. Okay, let's sort of move that around a bit so you can watch the motor spin. Orange is the theme here, RC. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, I'll rest my fingers on it. Yeah. Where was that? Was that one of the... It was one of the 24-hour ones, wasn't it? One of Shane's events, I think. When everybody went off camera and got their orange shirts on. I have screen captures of it. I thought it was pretty cool. That was a long time ago, too. That was Murph 2019 that I made those. My first Murph. What started out as, yeah, I'll make like half a dozen or 10 shirts. Turned into like 60, I think, by the time I was done. Something like that. And I got stuff to make more again. Okay, and I've switched the axes back, so it's on 1 millimeter, so it's not going to jump a whole bunch. Yeah, it was one of Shane's. Was it Verf? It was one of the long ones. It was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool anyways. It was just lucky that I actually was wearing one that day, because sometimes I don't. Or my bright orange, I've got a hoodie that I did with it too. I wear that out once in a while, like when I'm shoveling snow and things. I'm glad you still have yours, Eddie. Okay, Ron, have a good evening. Good luck catching the dog. Inconsiderate dog squeaking at twilight at night. Yeah, the blending with the background is by design. It's kind of a branding thing. Yes. We have to be in the same room, man. That's kind of the deal. But yeah, we have to kind of work on that. I did order some more t-shirts a while back. I need to reach out to everybody that got one last time and ask how many of them the letters stayed on really well. Because that first batch were done late at night in a hurry. And I still believe that you cook them a little bit longer, that it would make them better, and actually makes them worse. I saw Krusty's his Murph shirt I made, the blue one, and it's falling apart. Yeah. Builder's Mark is staying on task here. I keep getting sidetracked by the chat. Well, my fingers aren't good enough to stall it. It's running smooth. Yeah, that could be it. You could be right. I'd have to go look at the screen grab on the Mac upstairs. See, you come in here bitching about orange and hurting your retinas, and you're wearing orange too. No. Mirrors, sir, mirrors. I almost wore one of the gray ones tonight, one of these, but I thought, no, I'm going to go nice and bright. Maybe it'll help with the good energy to make this thing work, but it didn't happen. Yes, everybody, Chris Perillo is going to be on the Edge of Tech on Monday night. Got to remember to set a reminder. Well, I usually watch it Monday night, but I got to make sure I watch for sure. I think that'll be fun. Been watching Chris for many years. Yeah, they were heat press shirts. Yeah, I did them. The heat press is just over there. Just a clamp down one. Did I send yours after Murph? I know I sent one to. I did remember I sent one to you, and I always sent one to Brian Vines because he couldn't make it to either of the shows that year. So I believe I sent him one. I sent one out as a replacement to somebody. Mr. Buttram, I sent him a replacement. There was only a handful I sent because shipping just adds to the cost of it. Cost of the shirt plus, you know. Oh. What is a mirror exactly? Unknown. I'm beyond that time of night where I'm going to be taking this thing apart, man. It'll be another day to play with that. It could be a voltage problem on it, so I'll be checking that. But tonight I'm done for the night. My eyes are cooked. Only one of my eyes works right anyway, so when they're this tired, it's just not wise. I want to wrecking something. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Take it easy, RC Maniac. Oh, is that why? Okay. Well, I'm glad that I got you one in your size and got it to you, so that's good. Wait a minute, that means I have your address. It would take me so long to find it. Yeah, Builder's Mark, tonight's plan was just take a look at it, see if... I was hoping it was just that the eccentric nuts were buttered on it, or one of the wheels was bad or something, but that wasn't it. Obviously, that's not it. So I still think they're overdone, but... So, yeah, the next thing, I think what I'll do is I'll swap one of the motors off one of the other ones, and I'll check the voltage on it, take the covers off, check the voltage on it, and see what's happening next. But that's a fresher brain for putting probes into places that, you know, shouldn't be sticking metal in when you can't see it that good. Yeah, I've probably got it. I've got a... forget who it was. I was going to send them a shirt or something one time. Something I had to send them anyways. And they didn't want to give me their address. I'm like, okay. So we're done. Okay for me. Yeah, I could do that too. If they're, I don't know, are they, I can almost guarantee I've never opened the lid on this one. So yeah, make sure you know where to stick your probe. Those are good words for everybody. You really need to make sure you know where you stick your probe. There's only one night in my life where I'm not quite sure where my probe was. And it was a long time ago, and so I think I'm okay. Yeah, I can swap the driver modules around if they're, God, I hope they're not soldered in. But you never know with this stuff. This one's been around for a while. Yeah, one step at a time. I'll just work through it. I'm not sure what tomorrow's plan is. Tomorrow, Chris Riley's streaming in the afternoon, I think, starting at noon, doing a little CNC machine. So I'll be watching modding there. And then there's another stream, a StreamYard one that I'll be checking out. I'm trying to pay attention to as well tomorrow. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're socketed, and I've got newer, like I'm going to get the numbers wrong. 2209s. Does that make sense? I can't remember what they are. I bought them for one of the other ones. They're upstairs in a box. See, more stuff in a box. So, but yeah, that's a good idea too. I can switch them around and see. Switch it with the X ones and see what happens. But yeah, it's well, I'm glad that we got it narrowed down to where the problem kind of is for tonight. So that was good. So my goal there was met. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for stopping in. I think we have a record here tonight, which says 23 people are watching right now. So that's awesome. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And Mr. Perillo's still here. Hey, there you go. Yes, thank you for coming, and thanks for raiding in with all your people. And I'd like to say I hope you learned something, but nobody probably learned much tonight, except that I talked too much and didn't get much done. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So these are for. And yes, that's it for tonight. And I'm not sure what tomorrow's is. Probably be tomorrow night again. The afternoon's going to be kind of busy, but I might be down here working while Chris is doing his stream. So he'll be fiddling with it then. Can ask him questions if I get stuck. But anyways, thanks everybody for coming out and for hanging around and being really good in the chat tonight. Good and active, and it was great discussion. And thanks for all your help working things out and all your ideas. The hive mind always works better than mine. And remember to be safe, everyone, and never let the machines win.